will say that I would fully support if it went into that contingency, maintenance contingency fund. They have a list of well over $100 million of capital improvements that need to be made. In fact, this amount would almost cover what we found out would be necessary for Stewartsville to be brought up to speed. I personally, I have reservations about moving that outside of the school budget, but I would like to see it go towards the maintenance contingency.
With what you just said. I'd like to see the $1 million go from operations to the maintenance contingency, still keeping it within the scope of the school. But then that gets them ahead in the maintenance area without penalizing anything. They're going to be at a shortfall anyway at the end of, I think it's 4 more years. And then that keeps it. What you don't want to do is build your operations at this point. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to soften that cliff. So not putting any into operations, but putting it back towards your maintenance contingency. So I support moving that $1 million to the maintenance.
We have capital improvements in fire and rescue that are dying up some real needs. And I know they have needs too, but I think we're giving $3 billion to capital improvements, 7.4 to their debt service. We've helped the schools a lot. I think it's time to put some more attention in our fire and rescue needs.
Disagree with that at all, but I do feel we're going to have a significant surplus at the end of this fiscal year that certainly once we close the books out, there'd be funds available, because I fully support that fire and EMS needs attention.
Serious.
Fire and rescue needs. The cost of equipment for these departments has gone up tremendously under this current administration. It's a tremendous burden that these organizations can't absorb. But I also see the merit in getting us further along towards being able to have enough allocated in maintenance so that when we get to that fiscal cliff where the reversion dollars go away, we won't negatively affect operations for the school system. Because we certainly could not afford a huge drop off in revenue if it was all tied up in operations. And so this has been the vehicle to get that done. And due to the changes to the LCI, that seems to continue to be a moving target. And as I understand it, there were new adjustments to the LCI due to the way they're calculating it now. And currently it's fixed for Bedford County, but we're gonna get the natural number in just a few years, and we're all gonna have to eat it wherever that falls. And I'm concerned about the way that target keeps moving away from us. So I can see the merit of doing this as well. So as long as we can prioritize any additional funds, because I don't want to wait till next year to address the shortfall that we're seeing with respect to fire and rescue apparatus. I don't think we can afford to wait till next year. I think we need to address that this year. So as long as we can prioritize that, as soon as we know how much money we have available to inject some funds into that, then I will go along with allocating this specifically, this $1,089,650 to the maintenance contingency reserve. It essentially moves us up another $1 million. As it appeared before the target moved, we were going to roughly come up $2 million short.
And I think the school system has been trying to close that gap. And this will help us also close that gap, to where by the time we get to that point, I think we'll be able to continue to come in for a soft landing, and it won't negatively affect the school system's operations. So for the long-term health of the school system, I will go along.
As a board, need to make up our mind that we are going to make it a priority. And I will, vote for these extra funds to go into the school year, or extra funds that the state appropriated. But I just urge everyone on this board to really get serious, and if we have to, whatever we have to do to make cuts in other areas, let's get serious that we're gonna support fire and rescue in this county.